Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Aligned Human Project podcast, where consciousness meets creation and alignment becomes a way of life. I'm your host, Dawn Elgin, and today we're stepping into the heartbeat of this entire project, coherence. So, what it means, why we lose it, how do we restore it, and how coherence inside one human has the power to shift homes, workplaces, and entire communities. Because the truth is this, we're not suffering from a lack of information. We're suffering from a lack of integration, a lack of coherence between what we think, what we feel, and how we live. And that fracture, the split inside of us, is what creates separation in our relationships, dysfunction in our organizations, and division within society. Today's episode will take you on a journey through how separation forms inside the individual, how inner incoherence spills into marriages, families, and partnerships, how this fragmentation shapes leadership, culture, and business, and how the field responds to the coherence or incoherence of one human. And then how the alignment practice and the 12 laws of field and form bring everything back into harmony. This is a big one, a foundational episode, a recalibration. So stay with me. Welcome to the Aligned Human Project podcast, where consciousness meets creation and hustle gives way to harmony. I'm Dawn Elgin, contrarian soul guide, spiritual CEO, and founder of Practical Spiritualism. This is a space where we explore what it truly means to be human, aligned, awakened, and in flow with the field of life itself. Together, we'll bridge science and spirit, energy and embodiment, purpose and prosperity, so you can remember who you are beneath the programming and reclaim the power to create in full alignment with your soul. Because the next evolution of humanity isn't out there, it's in here. This is the Aligned Human Project. Okay, let's begin. Every separation in the world begins with the separation inside the individual, not because we're broken, but because we were conditioned away from ourselves. From childhood, we were taught to override the body, to suppress emotion, silence intuition, and perform instead of feel. We start living from the mind, from the outside in, and not from the soul, and certainly not into coherence. So internal separation looks like saying yes when your body says no, or vice versa. Thinking one thing, but feeling another. Abandoning yourself to stay light. Disconnecting from the body, dissociation. Overriding intuition for logic. Living on autopilot instead of awareness. And reacting from the pain body instead of from presence. This is the fracture, the split, the root cause of almost everything, every form of suffering. When we are incoherent inside, the field around us echoes the chaos. We track misaligned relationships, unstable environments, and the situation that reflect our internal discord. Coherence begins when we stop trying to fix ourselves and start returning to ourselves. This is a remembering practice, and that's where the alignment practice comes in. We pause, we take a conscious breath. In through the nose, maybe sighing it out. And then we notice the emotions, the tension, the sensations that we're going through. And then we align. Who do you want to be in this situation, in this moment? This is how we start closing the gap. The moment that you disconnect from yourself, you also disconnect from others. Here's how inner incoherence plays out relationally. First, the trigger loop. Your wound meets their wound. Your unspoken needs meet their unspoken expectations. And the argument has nothing to do with the surface issue. We call this pain-body relationships. Second is projection. You see in them what you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. The third is resentment. Resentment equals boundaries not spoken or honored, expectations you haven't explored, and beliefs you haven't questioned. Are they even yours? And then fourth is emotional outsourcing. You give someone else the job of regulating you. And when you do that, you give them your power. And fifth is energetic collapse or aggression, fight, flight, fawn, freeze, instead of presence, truth, and connection. Coherence in relationships looks like truth without harm, boundaries without fear, letting go of expectations, beliefs grounded in your truth, love without self-abandonment, accountability without shame, repair over resentment, presence over performance, listening without defensiveness. When one person in a relationship becomes coherent, the entire dynamic in that relationship starts to shift. You cannot argue with someone who is completely rooted in presence. You cannot manipulate someone rooted in sovereignty. You cannot destabilize someone aligned with their soul. Coherence is power in relationships, not dominance, clarity. So what about in business? How does incoherence shape leadership and culture? We have a crisis of leadership, not because leaders lack skill. It's because they lack coherence. Incoherent leadership looks like reactivity, mood-based decision-making, enforcing rules they don't live, burnout disguised as productivity. Here's your badge of honor. Control instead of clarity, emotional immaturity hidden behind the title, fear-based culture, confusion at the top causing chaos at the bottom. When leaders are incoherent, organizations fragment. When leaders are coherent, cultures start to stabilize. And this is where field and form becomes really a blueprint for leadership. The law of becoming. Leaders are always creating culture. The law of reflection. Their inner world shapes the tone of the team. The law of power. Presence stabilizes the room. The law of authorship. Well, decisions matter. The law of flow. Alignment beats control every time. The law of dominion. Accountability, it builds trust. The law of return. Teams grow in cycles. The law of oneness. Unity is the goal, not competition. The law of alignment. Coherent intention creates coherent action. The law of devotion. Service amplifies impact. The law of paradox. Contradiction is part of growth. What's small looks big, what's big looks small. And the law of divine intelligence. Guidance is always available. Coherent leadership is not soft, it's not permissive, and it's not passive. Coherent leadership is precise, grounded, and deeply powerful. This is alignment operating system. This is the shift organizations are craving without having language for it. So what is the collective impact of one coherent human? Let me say something truthfully and directly. Humanity will not heal from the top down. Sorry. It will heal from the inside out. One coherent human at a time. When one person becomes coherent, families shift, marriages soften, relationships deepen, and teams stabilize. Communities harmonize. The field, that energetic field, recalibrates. It's not a metaphor, it's measurable. The HeartMath Institute's work in heart-brain coherence shows that a single coherent individual affects the electromagnetic field all around them. Measurable. Michael Singer teaches that surrender dissolves resistance and restores flow. Quantum science confirms that coherence amplifies influence. When you are coherent, the people around you feel safer, calmer, more regulated, more open, and more aligned. You become a tuning fork for truth. This is the aligned human. This is the human who becomes a catalyst, not by force, but by frequency. Let's take a moment to pause, feel, and align while we take a super short break for a word from our sponsor. I want to tell you about something I am so excited about. It's called Align Your Life, and it's my new year-long immersion where we journey through the 12 laws of co-creation, just one each month, in life, business, and in healing. You'll get 45 minutes of deep teaching and then live coaching love seats where you can bring what's real for you right now forward. We kick off on December 7th, and right now you can join for the founder's rate of $9.97. And if you're feeling called but want to get just a taste of my work first, check out the Aligned Oracle Guidance 3-pack, 3 powerful intuitive sessions to bring you back into coherence. All the links are below. Let's align your life together. Welcome back. We are talking about all things coherence today. We have looked at how it shapes our relationships, business, culture, and community. With all that, how do we return to coherence? Coherence is not something you achieve, it's something you practice. Every day, in small moments, in micro adjustments. So here are 5 pathways of return. 1. Nervous system coherence. Regulate first, respond second. So a deep breath, nice and slow, and we drop into presence. 2. Emotional coherence. Feel the emotion. Let it move. Don't make it your identity. It takes 90 seconds for the lifespan of an emotion when we don't resist or grab. Let it go. 3. Mental coherence. Align the mind with truth, not story. Thoughts become architecture. Set intentions. Who do you choose to be? And then start living from there. 4. Energetic coherence. What you transmit, you attract. What you embody, you amplify. What energy are you bringing into your interactions in the world today? 5. Spiritual coherence. Remember, you are not doing this alone. You are partnered with the field. You are an aspect, an eternal spark of creation itself. This is coherence. This is alignment. And this is the practice of living as an aligned human. Let's feel this into life with an embodiment practice. So, go ahead and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Give the caveat unless you're driving. Maybe you close your eyes or soften the gaze, and then you just inhale, nice and deep, all the way down into your pelvic bowl. Pause. And now exhale long and slow. And then just whisper, I return to myself. I return to coherence. I return to truth. You start to feel the inner shift. Feel yourself re-enter your body. Feel how quickly you can come home. This is your power. This is your alignment. This is your path to the aligned human. Remember, pause, take a conscious breath, feel, be present with yourself, and then align with who you choose to be. I see the light in you, and it's freaking brilliant. And I can't wait for you to embody your truth. You are not here to fix yourself. You are here to remember yourself. Because when you align with your truth, everything else begins to align with you. If this episode sparked something inside you, hit follow or subscribe and share it with someone walking their own path of awakening. And if you're ready to go deeper, you'll find free resources, programs, and community spaces waiting for you at practicalspiritualismco.com. Remember, alignment isn't a place you reach. It's a practice you live. So keep pausing, keep feeling, keep aligning. You are the field. You shape the form.